Hi, and welcome to this new series about Let's Build a Chatbot. So this is all about in AI, in C#, we want to use the Microsoft Agent Framework to build a chatbot in various different ways. But we're not just going to build very simple sample code. We are actually going to build a real full-featured chatbot. We are aiming for being as good as ChatGPT. That will probably be difficult, but let's aim for it. We're going to build it in various front ends, Blazor, React, and so on. And we're going to use Microsoft Agent Framework as the backend. That's the main goal. But how do we actually build a real life chatbot just like ChatGPT if we were to do that? So the journey of this series would be that we start with a baseline. What we're going to do is we are starting in Blazor Server, but slowly building up to more and more advanced ways and more real ways of doing things. We're going to put in the default chat tools and conversations, but then we're going to pile on features as we go along. We're going to try to see if we can add user memory. We're going to try and do more advanced tool calling like MCP skills, have image generation be possible, PDF and image input, and so on and so forth. We're also going to put in additional frontend as mentioned, so not only Blazor Server, but Blazor WASM, React, and so on to see what is the differences, can we use ADUI for something, and so on and so forth. We're going to look at security aspects of how can we make a login, how can we secure things and stuff like that. Not the main focus of this, but still, if we are to build something real, we of course need to secure it in some way. And finally, if we get to that point, again, these are the main focus areas because security and deployment are more or less the same across any website, any system, but we're going to try and make the deployment of the chatbot as well. We will focus on trying to do this as real world as possible, trying to say, okay, if I were to build a chatbot in real life and release it, this is what I would do for real, not just small demos and stuff like that. And I'm trying to build as much reusable components so you can copy paste parts of it into real world applications yourself. We're not going to really focus on the visuals. The visuals will be okay, but not pretty. So I'll probably use some coding agents in order to help with that. And for backend data, we're going to keep it light. We might set up a vector store behind the scenes just as a reference, but the data is not really the focus. It will more be the wiring up of the various different parts. Here's just a small sneak preview of the first implementation, which will be a Blazor Server baseline, where we are trying to make the default chat with an input and a conversation back and forward with chat bottles, as we normally do, but also we end up with a lot of options that you can turn on and off to see where different things are. We're going to make a conversation history over here so you can switch between the different ones, switch to a new chat. And this is just a baseline. Later on, we will put even more into it. And as you can see, I'm building it as components. So, for example, in Blazor, if you want a sidebar, it will be possible. Again, not pretty, but okay. So that was the intro. We're going to do a little intro more about the repo and the solution in general before we jump into Blazor. But see you in the next one.